I think I'm going to have to ban married couples from my life. I don't make this statement lightly. Hey, this is Tracy with Tracy Talks. Welcome. There's times where I don't think I can reach another level or another plateau. Like I feel like I have reached this highest level where I'm over the bullshit or the bullshit shouldn't bother me. And yet, every time I have a new realization, I'm always shocked. And I was having a couple of different conversations today with people who are married. And I really do think that I may have to ban married people from my life. And I'm going to focus on 3 areas here which are problems, which married people seem to not want to acknowledge. They don't seem to understand. Either they play dumb or that's just the way things are or laugh it off. And then what I find is interesting is there's times where I feel the judgmental gaze from married people. And I feel that because I'm single. I'm not actively looking for someone in my life. I am viewed by society and married people as the one with a problem. I have the problem to be solved, and the problem is that I'm single. Here are 3 things that I keep seeing consistently with couples that are around me, that are close to me. And the first one is honesty. The couples that I have close to me cannot be honest to the person that they're married to. They can't say, these are my feelings. That hurt me. I don't want to do that. Can we find another solution? Can we find something that both of us enjoy doing? I'm tired of not being appreciated. I'm tired of not being understood. I really don't like doing that. I don't want to spend my time doing that. Can I have my own friends? I mean, I have heard all of these statements from married people. Most of the married people that I have in my life do not want to be honest with their spouse. You shouldn't be married to somebody that you can't be honest with. You shouldn't be married to someone when you can't say, that hurt my feelings. Number 2, your partner doesn't bring you joy. I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds crazy. I see a lot of married people that are not happy that the other person that they chose to marry doesn't make them happy. And I know that it's not somebody else's responsibility to make me happy. I know that. But when you are in the presence of this person that you have chose to spend your life with, you should have some spark of excitement. You should have some energy in your voice. You should be excited to want to see them, to want to talk to them. And you don't. You're short. You're angry. You're passive aggressive. And that's even if you decide to talk to this person. Because I know a lot who play the silent treatment. This is not love, my friends. And number 3, you can't have difficult conversations with your spouse. There's been so many times when I have been in the presence of someone who's married and they are afraid to talk about their real feelings. They're afraid to be vulnerable and share what's in their heart. And there's times where, a lot of times, I will sit back and just listen and not point out the obvious. And then there are times where I make the comment, you should be having this conversation with your spouse, not with me, with your spouse. I am completely confused that I see these 3 things happening over and over and over again with married people. Married people who act like they are superior because they have a spouse, but yet you can't have a difficult conversation with that person. You can't be honest and talk about your feelings and your desires and your dreams and your wants. And part of me is frustrated because, again, there's times where I feel this gaze of judgment from married people, from society, from anyone who has a partner. Why can't you find somebody and be miserable like you? Is that what you really want? You want everybody on the face of the earth to be just as miserable as you are. I reached a new plateau today. I reached a new level, which I didn't honestly think that I could get here, of a frustration, of I don't want to hear it. Like, I need to walk around with some type of sign attached to my being, like a bumper sticker on a car, but there's a sign on me saying, do not complain to me about your spouse. Have these conversations with your spouse. And if you can't have these conversations with your spouse, you should not be married to that person. I do not consider this love. I consider this dependency. And I see a lot of married people saying, this is the person, I love them. Bullshit. You are dependent upon that person. This is not love. This is not love. When you cannot sit across from your partner and say, I'm hurting. I miss our closeness. I miss holding your hand. I feel disconnected. That is love. That is love when you can sit across from your partner and be vulnerable. That is love. Love is not you picking up the phone and complaining to your best friends about your spouse. Or better yet, when you do go to therapy as a couple and both of you are afraid to be honest about what the problems are. You don't even talk to the therapist when you're paying them to help you. And I can already hear some of the responses. And when you try to have that difficult conversation with your spouse and you notice that they are not leaning in to your wants and your needs and your hurts, then you know you have the answer. And maybe all of you have a very different definition of what love is. But I don't consider that love when you can't be honest, when you can't have the difficult conversations, when you don't have someone who is kind and loving and supportive. That is dependency. And I've reached this level where I guess I'm going to have to ban all married people. Like, it's delusional. It has reached this level of delusion when you're fighting over some of the stupidest stuff. I was having a conversation this morning with an extended family member, and I don't see this person very often. And I know that they have had their own struggles throughout the years, have been married decades now. And we were just talking about schedules and life and getting things done and talking about grocery shopping. He brought up grocery shopping and how, just fitting in these things in life is difficult. And my response was, so you guys have to go together? Well, yeah. This is a pain point for me personally, to see married couples in the supermarket. And I can't get over the fact that you have to go with your spouse, that neither of you trust them to pick out the correct box of crackers. Like, you don't think that they can pick out the Ritz crackers? Or do you think that grocery shopping is just such a miserable task that both of you have to share in the misery? Or do you think that the one person is going to lock eyes with the love of their life while they're picking out oranges? And believe me, I have tried to find the love of my life while I'm picking out fruit, but it hasn't worked yet. And maybe that's the trick, that it's easier for a married person to lock eyes with somebody. I don't know. And I'm making light of this, but in the same sense, I'm not. Like, I see so many married couples who are absolutely miserable. The first thing on my want list in a relationship, fun. One of the top characteristics that I want in somebody, fun. If you're not fun, then just keep on going. Like, life is too short to be absolutely miserable. This is it, folks. This is it. We don't get any do-overs here. So why would you sign up for a life of misery? And I want to end it with this one thought. And I hear people say it over and over again, that divorce is costly financially. Like, I don't want to be wiped out financially. However, that money in the bank is more important than your joy and your happiness. That's what you're telling me. And as someone who has come out on the other side, and divorce is horrible, I will admit that. It's a horrible process. It's a horrible thing to go through. But as someone who has made it to the other side, and I see my married life versus my life now, I would not go back to that for anything. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.